Hey, this is Big Papa Pump Scott's Diner.
Yes, it is me, Gerald the Poupée.
Hey, this is Joe Gatto.
Well, hello there. It's me, Harold the Puppet.
This is Eric Young.
This is Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Ardano, and you are listening to Shootin' Poop.
The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 68 of Shootin Shit. As always, I am Giovanni Tuhati, the hot one. I'm here with the Premier Joey K.
Where'd he go? Like, he literally was just here right before he hit the record button.
Yeah. Okay, next, DDJ.
Hey, guys.
And the Silver Wolf.
What's up?
Well, I'll tell you what's up, gentlemen. Episode 68. It's a new year. It's 2023. This is the first one of the new year. Oh, man. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
I said, Are you ready?
Then, for the thousands not in attendance, for the dozens and dozens watching this on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to podcast.
What?
What?
Huh?
Who?
What?
Who?
What?
Who?
Who is that?
What?
Against better judgment and even forsaking legal counsel and advice, I've decided to appear contractually obligated to this show, even though it is complete disrespect on the side of Shootin Shit, Genres Podcast Network.
I am
Powers
anonymous.
that be. Their lack of discretion in our current legal proceedings. So I have decided to fulfill my end, because that's the kind of person I am, to appear here on the show.
So what up with the mask then?
Yeah, what's the new look, buddy?
Nah, dude, you should have said you're in.
El Primero.
Oh no.
El Primero.
This is just so I can appear on the show and not get fined.
So it's not your likeness. So they don't know that's Joey K under there. It's not Joey K.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is
It's
not
not Joey
Joey
K.
K.
It may or may not be the premier Joey K.
It may or may not be El Generico.
It may not be Juan Cena.
Are you able to smoke through that thing?
Of course he is. He's a pro, bro.
I'm a fucking professional. Thank you.
It's the best.
I am a pro.
thing I've seen.
Yeah, he's a pro, man. He's a pro.
He's a pro. So,
We're all pros
Now that-
here. We're all talking
That's
pro
just
wrestling.
special. That's just special effects. It's okay that your mask is not movie quality.
It took James Cameron 8 years for me to be able to blow that smoke out through this mask.
CGI, baby, CGI.
$46 million spent just to do that one effect. This is what I contribute to the show, but okay, fuck me for speaking my mind, right?
If this show had $46 million budget just to do that one shot, I don't think any of us would be working right now.
If we had a $46 million budget, DDJ would
we wouldn't
own...
be spending it on that fucking shit.
No. DDJ would own a life-size replica of Matt Taven with included ring gear.
No, he would have Matt Taven in a box,
and when he squeezes it, like it smells like
like a
butter,
basketball, just like a glass box. Matt Taven would show up to his house, climb down in the basement, go in, stand there.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Hey, so Javon, I got an idea for a new segment for the show this week.
Okay.
So y'all remember back in the day in like the late 80s, Saturday mornings, like I think it was on CBS, Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Pee-wee's Playhouse. Who doesn't know Pee-wee? Yeah.
And that's so remember how they always used to do the secret word of the day?
Yes.
That was like one of the best parts, right?
Oh, it was the funnest part of the whole show.
So you know what I'm thinking? Let's bring the magic of that segment to this show today. So in order to demonstrate for those youngins who are watching the show who maybe never heard of Pee-wee's Playhouse,
and smoking weed back then.
For those who are too young to know Pee-wee's Playhouse, we brought on a special little guest to explain how this segment works. So I'm gonna play a little video for you. So here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Today's secret word is
Jeff Jarrett.
now. You all remember what to do whenever anyone says a secret word, right? Scream! Right! For the rest of the day, whenever anyone says a secret word, scream real loud! Ready? Let's try her out.
Hey, Jovan.
Yo.
Who beat Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental title at the 1995 Royal Rumble?
Oh man, you're the trivia guy. Hold on. That's that was Jeff Jarrett.
See what I've been putting up with while you were gone, bro? This is what I've been dealing with. This is what
I've been in the trenches taking grenades for a fucking year and a half.
I know, dude. And these two fucking chuckleheads have been throwing this Jeff Jarrett stuff at me, dude. I swear to God.
Oh.
Dude, hey, do me a favor. Tell Crystal to go ahead and box your shit. Fucking hate you both. I hate you both.
You're the one who said it, man.
I didn't say
Said
shit.
what?
You said Jeff Jarrett. I heard you clearly.
I'm choking the shit out of both of you next time I see you. Both of you are going to sleep.
Well, I am supposed to be coming down to your house to watch the Royal Rumble, so.
Oh shoot!
You're
Okay,
gonna
let's.
see what? You're gonna be asleep. Why is Dennis asleep on the floor? Because
Because of why?
fucking-
Why, Jovan?
Jeff Jarrett. Okay. Whew. We got the Jarrett giggles out.
Okay.
Let's do
I fucking hate you.
let's get
I hate you
serious.
both. I hate you. I hate you both.
Love you, man.
Let's get serious. When are we ever serious?
When are we ever serious? You know what was
You know what,
serious though?
Actually, real quick before we do get into it, I do want to get a little serious here. It's
Uh-oh.
great news. I'm sure we've all talked about it and stuff, but you know what happened at the Monday night game with was it Damar Hamlin and stuff? You know, unfortunately went into cardiac arrest after taking a shot during the game, and it's just great to see that. I mean, from everything we're starting to hear is that he's making progress and stuff, and we hear it Shootin Shit, send the T's and P's out to his family and everybody, because hopefully he gets back to 100% and stuff, because that was real life. That was legit one of the scariest things I'd ever saw on TV.
And like a true football player, when he started getting to his faculties, right, and he's communicating through pen and paper right now, the first thing he asked was, "Did we win?"
Yeah, who won the game?
Fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Fucking
that's
awesome.
Yeah. So I just thought we'd just throw that out there before we kind of get into our usual antics. So
usual antics, just like WrestleKingdom 17 was this weekend, gentlemen. What a freaking show, top to bottom, stacked. What are our thoughts?
Well, you watched it live, didn't you?
I did.
Man, I don't know how you could have done that and stuff, but
I took a nap.
Yeah. So I know you saw it in its entirety. I watched it last night after I got home from work. Joey K, Sean, did you guys watch any of it other than what we were watching?
I literally, the only bit of it I've watched is what we were watching pre-show. That's it.
What about you, Joey?
Clips, and I know highlights.
I watched the biggest matches, the maybe like half the show.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Highlights of the rest, but yeah,
it was a really good show. And I mean, those of you who are kind of new to New Japan or have never really watched, Wrestle Kingdom is their WrestleMania. Like, that's their first show out of the year. They start every year off with their WrestleMania, and it's always usually is a banger and stuff. And I mean, that year's was definitely no exception. I mean, we had a lot of great title matches. Some surprise debuts, or depending on if you call it a surprise, because I mean, I think it was pretty much one of the worst kept secrets that Mercedes Moné was going to be on the show and stuff. But I mean, I loved it. I mean, I thought, and I think it's pretty obvious, at least to the four of us here, that we've already seen one match of the year candidate, on that show last night. I mean, I've gotten nothing but good to say about that show. What about you, Jovan?
It was an amazing show, top to bottom. Just to throw out some real quick information for everybody. Kyrie, the Stardom Women's Champion, beat Tam Nakano for the belt, or she defended her belt. That's when we got Mercedes Moné's debut, which is formerly known as Sasha Banks. Awesome debut, good pickup for New Japan and Stardom. Looks like they're getting their match in February when Stardom starts their U.S. tours. So I think we got.
I thought it was a New Japan show.
It's a joint product, but I think Stardom is the one taking the lead on it.
Yeah.
To go into more, FTR did drop the IWGP Tag Team Championships to Bishamon, which is Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. The Silver Wolves,
pretty damn good team.
Oh,
it doesn't get a lot of love.
They don't, but they were good. Back to the Silver Wolves pick. Zack Sabre Jr. did defeat Ren Narita for the first ever IWGP TV Championship. Hideous belt. Hideous belt.
Man, that was my very first show.
It was your very first show.
That was my very first show. I made that pick.
Your first big shot with us came to be true. The good bad guy Tama Tonga beat Carl Anderson for the never weight open belts. Such a mark.
Was that really a surprise to anybody? That wasn't really a surprise to anybody, was it?
Carl needed to drop that belt.
No, it wasn't a surprise, but it was really just good to see Tama finally get his singles title win at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes.
I mean,
and the match was good too. The story in the match was real good.
I mean, what Tama's been in New Japan for 14 years?
His whole career almost.
Basically, yeah.
However long. Yeah, I mean, and finally. So that was the highlight of that match. It was a solid match too.
Yeah.
And you think about the history between those two, because we're coming up on this year. We're going to be in May. We're going to be celebrating 10 years of Bullet Club. Those two started Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, did you guys happen, like, this Bullet Club is the reason why I'm bringing up? they have a deal with Under Armour. You can now buy Under Armour Bullet Club gear.
Oh, that's badass. Sweat.
It is,
I didn't know
badass.
that.
But here's the catch. You can only do it. You can only order it and get it in Japan.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you can only order it through Pro Wrestling Tees.
Nope, you can only get it.
Well, I know a guy. So I know a guy that could probably get.
That's okay, man.
Probably has a way to get it. So.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know if you know this or not. I know a guy too. He's called Google.
come on,
You can
Shirai
go-
Ryu, you're gonna have to help me
They
out.
have online stores in Japan where you can actually go online and buy this stuff, dude. I don't know if you
Okay.
knew that or not.
Whew, I did not.
You're kidding me.
Keep on going on New Japan. We've got in his retirement match, the Great Muta Kijimoto matched up with the Ace Hiroshi Tanahashi and Shota Umino to beat the LIJ, which is of course Sonata, Bushi, and Naito. Hiromu Takahashi.
and one
Not his retirement yet, just his final New Japan.
Oh, it's his last match in
Final
New
New
Japan.
Japan match. Yeah.
But one
His
thing I wanted to
actual
say that one of the things that I really wanted to say that I really liked about the commentary during that match was when the guys from LIJ came out, like when Bushi came out, like he came out with the Muta style mask, and they brought up. But then when Sonata came out, they brought up the history Sonata had with Muta, because I think Muta trained Sonata, or was one of his first trainers and stuff. And then obviously, with Naito, I loved what, the comment and that commentary team, Kevin Kelly, I think it was Chris Charlton or something. I can't remember. And then Gino Game. Those guys are great. I love that trio.
They build each match, man. They give you the reasoning behind it all.
Yeah, and props to that commentary team for not mentioning that Muta called Shinsuke a very offensive slur the other night. So that was good on that commentary there.
It was just his English, man. Lost in translation sometimes.
No, that pretty much he said it correctly, and he used it in the context that I think he wanted to.
I mean, the man kissed the mist out of him. What do you want from him? Moving on.
Probably not to say that.
Moving on.
I feel like you're being way more generous to Muta than you ever would Hogan. I'm just saying.
And then also too, Javon, we also had the tribute match to Antonio Inoki on the pre-show as well too, which was a really nice touch.
That was a really touching segue there, DDJ. You really kind of moved it right along, didn't you?
The Inoki tribute. You have Yuji Nagata, Satoshi Kojima, Togi Makabe defeated Tatsumi Fujinami, Minoru Suzuki, and Tiger Mask.
Yeah.
That was like the pillars, the past, the present, all in one for New Japan. Also, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. We got a new champion with Hiromu Takahashi taking the belt off of Taiji Ishimori. El Desperado and Master Wato were there too.
Still laughing.
Then
you know what? You've never looked any better with that mask on, by the way.
What's that?
I said you've never looked any better with that, with that mask on, man.
Oh yeah, that's real big coming from DDJ, the fucking Rocky Dennis lookalike. Every week. Yeah, hey kids, Google that one. Rocky Dennis. Tell me what you think in the comments.
It's in 4K.
God. Trying to keep it going here.
Do you have that one on your 4K Blu-ray list, DDJ? Is it right next to Police Academy? I got him. Bottom corner, folks. I got him. He spit.
Spitters or quitters, Sean. Don't do that. Anyway, match of the year nomination already for Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the U.S. IWGP title.
Fucker.
Kenny Omega takes the match in a hell of a match. Go watch it if you can. If that's the only match you watch from the night, you've done yourself a service. Then, of course, the God of Wrestling, Kazuchika Okada, defeated Jay White for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. And I'm kind of getting tired of saying that. So,
yeah, Okada doing Okada things, winning the title at WrestleKingdom.
Yeah.
Okay, so
in other news, grass is green. Like,
So
I mean, like, it's fucking happening.
This begs the question: Is Okada basically New Japan's version of Roman Reigns 2015?
No, he's New Japan's version of Hulk Hogan.
No, he's New Japan's version of John Cena 2013.
Okay,
Oh,
I like that. I
That's
like
a good
that.
one where he buried the whole fucking core.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Look,
just a man in a shovel, baby. Just a man in a shovel.
like
Okada's,
Okada's great, and I think everybody here really loves watching him work. But
oh hell,
it's become clockwork, like WrestleKingdom season. Okada's in the main event, and he's probably winning the title, and it becomes a little, predictable. I can't fucking look at this guy. I'm like looking up and away from the camera right now. I can't see you. You're on the screen. Jesus Christ, DDJ, are you okay?
That hat's in 4K.
Was it? Is that the Police Academy edition, bud?
Yep, limited edition.
Police Academy Criterion Collection. Is that on there? Is it on the
Police
list?
Academy Steampunk. It's the one they didn't release.
It's official. Official merchandise. Official merchandise.
So,
all right. So
one of the things I want to talk about, when you go back to that four-way junior heavyweight championship match, I really love the story of Master Wato during that. Like how they were basically, it felt like they were building it up for him to take it because they say, oh, he's so close, he's so close, he's so close. And then at the end, he was so close, but yet it got away from him. I really love that story during that match.
They've done Wato this way the last 3 years in a row. Any big match he's in, Master Wato always seems to fumble it. I kind of want to see him get his due too. Poor Blue Guy.
DDJ, I mean, your fucking buildup on there, he just gets so close, and I mean that's it's tantric sex you're talking about. I mean, I don't are you edging? Is this a new thing in your household? I don't know.
You can't release. You cannot release. You don't get the Kenny Omega release.
Nope.
Talking about the Kenny Omega release,
it's the mask. It's got to be the mask, dude.
It's the mask. Yeah, he's in rare form.
Full disclosure, it's bugging the fuck out of my eyes.
It's the smoke. It's the smoke going in the eyes.
Jesus fucking Christ! I can barely keep them. I feel like I have pink eye. It hurts. It's like I'm like, what the fuck?
You know how you get pink eye? No, I'm just joking. Anyway. Kenny
no, I want to know. No, tell me, Jovan.
Are you speaking from experience, Jovan?
No, I'm not. It was an old South Park joke where they took him to the strip club and they put his face in the stripper's ass. That's how you get pink eye.
Or just
so that's how the zombie outbreak started on that Halloween episode.
You just fart in somebody's pillow.
You just fart in somebody's pillow, yeah.
If you bare ass fart in somebody's pillow,
Worcester sauce handy.
Nature takes its course.
Did you just say the Worcester sauce?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
It's Worcester.
It's Worcester.
It's Worcester.
I don't want to hear anything about your sister, dude.
Fucking illiterate asshole.
It's Worcestershire.
Hey, wait, you just called me an illiterate asshole. Vaughn, I got another question for you.
Okay.
Here we
who was the guy that Shawn Michaels beat for the Intercontinental title at the second In Your House event?
I know this one because we just recently saw this on Such Good Shoot.
You're gonna get choked out the next time I see you. If you
I think it's really insulting, and this is for the audio listeners.
Dude, I've been nice the last couple weeks. I haven't been picking on him. I haven't. I've just.
It's funny because your face is super imposed.
Decided to fuck with me tonight, dude. What's wrong? Are you not getting any at home? Is that what's going on? Are you frustrated?
Wow.
Edging, frustrated.
Did she delete all your downloaded porn? I mean, what's the problem?
Sounds like DDJ is tired of all the edging.
He just keeps getting so close, but lost at the end.
Let's go back to Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega hot take, man. Kenny Omega in New Japan reminded me during WrestleKingdom why I love Kenny Omega. I don't know why we can't get that Kenny Omega in AEW. It's just a complete mishandle.
Silver Wolf.
I know why.
Silver Wolf.
because he don't have to do that in AEW. He's an executive producer. That's why him and those other two fucks wrestle only when they want to wrestle and go over whenever they choose to.
Their name are the Bucks, not the fucks. We've been over this.
And they're executive vice presidents, not executive producers.
Well, whatever. Yeah, that's why he don't have to fucking work there, so he don't.
It's sad because he's a great worker.
Yeah.
Well, I'll piggyback on what Jovan said. Yeah, because we were talking right before the show we started recording.
How have you been piggybacking on Jovan enough?
Because Jovan and I sometimes share a brain. So.
Does the Great Muda know about that?
Great Muda does know about that.
That's a good one.
He called us the same thing he did Shinsuke.
But no, we were talking about, how you talk about, this is what made him fall in love with Kenny Omega. To me, that's what made Kenny Omega so special to me was stuff like what we saw yesterday and that. And it's just, I wish we would see more of that,
No, and to be serious and not to cut you off, but being dead serious, the reason why he's better in New Japan is because in New Japan, he's being booked.
Yeah.
In AEW, he has to make his own decisions. There's nobody telling him what to do.
He's also booked against the best of the best talent in the world in New Japan. Well, and I'm sorry, AEW stands. The majority of Kenny Omega's opponents in AEW don't meet that criteria.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a hard reality.
I mean, he can't wrestle Bryanson and fucking who else?
You know what? I got
every night. Is there anybody else besides Daniel that can really go with him and keep up and really do what he does?
You've got the
in AEW. AEW.
You've got the ageless wonder in AEW he can go up against, dude.
Who?
JEFF JARR.
Dude, that's so not funny. It's almost fucking.
I didn't say his name, so we're good.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. I was just like anybody would think that he could have a match with Kenny Omega and it'd be good. Kenny can't carry that guy. That guy can't even be carried by two guys. He's got Jay Lethal and two guys on the outside, and they still can't carry his fucking slow old ass.
You know what?
He needs to quit.
Let's get down to it. Dynamite this week. Brand new show, brand new look. I miss the old chandelier, but everybody apparently loves the fucking TV screens. I miss the tunnels. Everybody fucking loves the Trons. What do you guys think of the new look?
I like it. It gives it a new look. I mean, I think we talked about how AEW, like the what made it so special, like, this kind of worn off, the honeymoon period's over. And I think they kind of needed a little bit of a change. And I liked it. I mean, it the screens and stuff, I think it makes the entrances, like, when the guys come out, look cooler and stuff. So I'm down with it. But man, what a show that was. And that crowd last night in Seattle, holy shit.
Oh, that crowd was rabid.
But I think that was the reason why the show was good, was because it was a Seattle crowd and they're very rarely there. I mean, have you ever gone to a Seahawks game or a Mariners game? Seattle's just that way, man. I mean, they're a
game,
ecstatic fan base. And here's do I like it? I mean, it doesn't look bad, but to me, it was kind of like, how a married couple will go, all right, well, we're going to move. We're in a new town, new start. It's the same fucked up marriage. It's just going to a different. No, dude, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, like the problem isn't the stage and the setup and the production and all that shit. The real problem is the storytelling and the behind the scenes and what's going on. And until they figure that out, it doesn't matter how pretty the outside looks. It doesn't make a difference. They can have lasers coming out their ass while they're wrestling. It's not going to matter. If the stories aren't good and the fucking behind the scenes shit isn't getting taken care of. You still have wrestlers that aren't being used. Miro, Andrade. I can keep going. There's a list of guys that should be on there that aren't.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And there's more problems behind the new curtain, behind the new digital, screens, behind the new laser show. The problem isn't the way it looks; it's the presentation.
Well, I thought last night's presentation of the show on the whole was a very good show, man.
No, it was a good show, but they do that.
The stories were good. Everything went well.
They'll have one or two or three good shows, and then something will happen. And he gets a new shipment from Miami. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Let's dive in real quick to some of the highlights before we keep dragging the company, man, because I don't want to go down and up and down and up. So
No, I get it.
So we're gonna go here. Starks and Jericho start off the night, man. What are we thinking on this match?
Ricky Starks is the main event right before.
DDJ's thought for everybody was Ricky Starks is becoming a main eventer right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think last night was the best match he's had.
Yeah,
to this point as a performer.
I mean, from that first promo with basically his coming out against MJF, and look, you can say what you want about MJF, but there's very, 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 very few people that can pretty much hold a mic against him and hold their own and not look like MJF is helping you along. Ricky Starks didn't feel like he was helped along in that.
Yeah.
Ricky came out. All MJF did was give him his time and space and the facial reactions to respond to it and let him do what he did. And he knocked it out of the park. He knocked it out of the park, in the in-ring back and forth with Jericho. And then, he's just been having, matches of a lifetime week in and week out, these past few weeks going on. He is absolutely becoming a star every single week.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know.
I mean, he got completely gang raped after that win, but
yeah, that was some prison shit, bud.
Speaking of
prison shit, no, I shouldn't bring that up, should I?
Okay.
No,
is the legal team going to censor me again?
Yeah, it might happen.
Oh, okay.
We don't talk prison shit no more. Yeah, but I don't know what it is about the new setup that made Ricky Starks just feel bigger than life. Coming out, he looked like a star. He felt
the crowd treated him like a star.
Yeah, and he felt like a big deal, and I think that was the perfect way to start the show out, man. They really made him and let him take it to kind of launch himself with that win. So,
and see, this is one of the things why I
it's
really
fucking hot under here.
What is that man in the mask?
Fuck, man, it's really hot under this thing. I can't really see
Wait a
anymore.
minute. It's all this time Joey K was Excalibur.
Oh, fuck you for that. That was probably the worst insult. That's probably the worst insult of the night.
I love Excalibur on commentary, so I was actually trying to pay you a compliment.
Nobody likes Excalibur on commentary. What do you mean?
I like Excalibur on
commentary. What the? Is that a Chicago thing?
I don't know.
I mean, the rest of the country doesn't.
But anyways, as I was trying to say, this is one of the things why I really, no pun intended, appreciate Chris Jericho. Because he's gone, think about what he's done in the last month. He tapped out to the swing, Claudio's swing, so that makes that move legit. He basically made it turn an unknown into, a potential star with Action Andretti, and then he just, made Ricky Starks look even more like $1 million than he already does and stuff. I mean, Jericho gets it. Like Jericho's putting over the younger talent and helping establish them. I wish more up. Okay.
Timeout. So I want to hear what your guys' opinion on this.
Go ahead, you little marshmallow.
So you just said all these things that Jericho has been doing week in and week out, putting over other talent, younger talent, trying to build younger stars. After everything that came out that he said about the Punk situation and how Punk came in and wanted to work with the younger talent and get them over and have matches and things like that. And now all of a sudden Jericho talked all that shit and allegedly doesn't want Punk back in the locker room. So now Jericho's doing all those things. Just a little convenient. Also, Ricky Starks highlight when he said Jericho looked like a fucking air fryer. I lost my shit.
Yes.
That was priceless. Fucking love that one.
It's actually I honestly I never even thought about it, but he's not wrong. I mean, he's not wrong. No, he's not. So
I mean, you got to think too. Before all this was going on, how many guys was he beating into the ground when he was Ring of Honor champion?
Everybody that was the next Ring of Honor champion.
No,
But
I mean,
Mr.
And let's take into consideration who has he really helped and put over. I mean, he's still carrying Sammy because Sammy.
But Sammy, that's not his fault though. Sammy,
well, it's a little bit of his
go
fault.
away heat on his own though.
Well, that's true. I'll give you that.
Sammy's a shit bag.
Nicely said, Man in the Mask.
But and I don't really have a lot of negative stuff to say about Chris, other than the fact that I do kind of feel like,
who did besides Cody?
You don't shit on Punk for not being professional and then go ahead and let it leak that you think Punk is a cancer. I mean, that's not, he's basically doing the same thing that he said Punk was a cancer for doing. He's talking shit about Punk because Punk talks shit about somebody else.
Yeah, but Punk didn't do the job for nobody.
He didn't do the job for nobody. He didn't even want the belt. Man. It's documented that he did not want the belt at all. And for the record, Jericho was the AEW champ for the entire first year the company was in business, and he was 50 pounds overweight and could barely carry a match.
But he carried the name recognition, which got everything going.
And that's exactly why they put the belt on him, because they were a new company.
I know, but you can't. I mean, dude, he
in essence built Hangman Page into the Dark Order.
You know why he's having better matches with younger talent right now than he has in the past? Because the whole time he's been there up until about 6 to 8 months ago, he was fat, he was out of shape, and he didn't care.
He's a fucking air fryer.
Well, I mean, give or take, he's a legend. He's a name in the business that people who weren't, in the business knew. So he's going to hold that title the first time. And,
there were plenty of guys there that could have held the title the first time.
I don't think so, dude.
I got to disagree on that one, too, because really at the time. Okay, so let's go back.
Whatever you put it on, Kenny?
Yeah.
No.
Kenny was the biggest star in the fucking world at the time, AEW. The whole reason why everybody was pumped about AEW was because of Kenny.
But that's
we were going to get to see him wrestle here in the States.
To a certain extent, I agree with that. But you got to remember, at the time, this was AEW is Kenny Omega's first major U.S.-based promotion. He was all over the world.
And how many belts did he carry overseas? All of them.
Yeah, but but let me finish. The hardcore wrestling fan knew who Kenny Omega was back in 2019 when he showed up to AEW. But did how many casual fans knew who Kenny Omega was?
Your Monday night, Friday night only guys did not know who Kenny Omega was, dude.
And they
knew Jericho.
And that's exactly why Jericho being the first AEW champion was the right decision over anybody else they had in AEW at the time.
That's just something we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on that one because
that's fine. That's fine.
That's what we do.
No, I know. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah, I don't agree with that whatsoever.
Another one that we're gonna agree to disagree with: Darby Allin wins the TNT title off of Samoa Joe.
I like that Samoa Joe didn't give a fuck about catching Darby when he dove off that ladder. Anybody, you guys saw that too?
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
He should have walked away.
Like, all right.
He should have just walked away. His Joe walk away.
His Joe walk away would have been sick right there. That would have been sick.
Yeah, but I think that would have got him a lot of fucking heat.
Well,
like,
I
dude,
don't know,
he jumped
man.
off the top of a ladder. You can't do the walk away on that. So he did the next best thing.
Used to seeing Darby
shuffle.
We're used to seeing Darby splash himself. My problem with the storytelling in that was, so we got Wardlow, who's like this unbeatable machine. Joe's beat him twice, two or three, and then the smallest guy on the roster since Marco Stunt left beat Joe.
Well, yeah, he hit him with the skateboard, man.
You know, I get why they did it because it was probably for the hometown pop and stuff because they were in Darby's hometown in Seattle and stuff. Darby's not going to hold that title long. I think Joe gets it back probably very quickly.
I don't know.
I don't think
either
of them need the title.
I think Joe's gonna. The reason why they took it off of him was because they needed a transitional champion to get him over, so they put it on Darby because he's going to end up going back and working Ring of Honor from this point on because that's where he's at.
That's a great take. I like that. That's written.
I see Joe dropping it.
He's getting this feud with him and Wardlow is not over. I mean, he cut Wardlow's hair. So
speaking of which, what happened to Wardlow? I mean, like you were just alluding to it just a little while ago, Javon, that like at this or whoever was alluding how he was unbeatable, but did he piss somebody off? Because I mean, man, they really pumped the brakes on him.
I think they found out what we've been saying for weeks. He can't wrestle. He looks good, but he's a very, very limited skill set.
It's that Goldberg effect, man. When you feed guys, it's the same thing's going to happen to Cargill when she finally loses. What are they going to do with her?
Hot take. She's actually been getting a bit better, a little better. She's not garbage. She's not the drizzling shits. She's trash.
She's doing the same shit she was doing 6 months ago.
It looks better though.
Nothing has changed.
It looks better.
No, it don't look better. You're just used to seeing it.
Well, fuck. Like I said, she's not garbage. She's not the drizzling shits. She's just trash.
She's just trash. Wow.
But no, I think that's Wardlow couldn't really carry a promo. He couldn't really do anything outside of the symphony of power bombs. And when the people got tired of seeing the symphony of power bombs, what do you have? Nothing.
He's a young murder hawk, man.
Don't you fucking say that.
Dude, if he look, and Dennis will agree, he'll tell you, I've said this before. If he was in the WWE, he's 1 year away from dancing in the middle of the ring with somebody. Anytime WWE had this monster force, this just bigger than life guy, after a year, after they got done feeding him and letting him get beat up by everybody, he would be in the ring dancing with
Tyrus.
Scotty Too Hotty or them other jackasses that
Tyrus, the Funkasaurus.
Yeah, they'd be doing that shit.
Somebody call his mama.
Yes.
Somebody call my mama.
And it's a shame because I think the one thing that I think stood out the most about Dynamite this week is I feel like Ricky Starks. I think you guys both we can all agree he's arrived.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And the one thing I noticed when we were at the All Out Fan Fest,
people love him.
Dennis can attest to this. He wasn't one of those guys that you had to pay to see. He was one of the guys that they walked out and you got to meet for free.
Yeah.
And his line was the longest.
Dude.
They actually had to turn people away because he'd been standing out there so long that he was done. They had to tell people no. That won't be the case next year. At FanFest next year, we'll be paying $75, $100 to get a picture and say hi to Ricky Starks.
Let me tell you about Ricky Starks, man. He's got that appeal, the crossover appeal. And I went to what was it, All Out the year before, and the one that was in Florida. And the gay fans fucking love Ricky Starks, man. And I'm talking about both spectrum of gay. The whole LGBTQ community loves Ricky Starks, bro. I'm talking about, we were inside the Jaguars practice facility because that's where they did the signing for the meet and greets.
Was that Revolution?
Revolution, yes.
Okay.
No, Revolution was in Orlando. This one was in Jacksonville, so it was the year before.
Oh, you talking about during the COVID year?
COVID year, yeah.
Okay.
His line was back across the field because they had him on the little field long way. So his went, a good 15 yards to the back and damn near to the entrance of the facility. Wow. And the entrance of the facility, they had it like a little wraparound line that S'd in. So when you get in, his line met that line.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Rick.
He's a fucking star, dude.
I'm a fan.
Hot take, I'm not a fan of Darby Allin. I don't really.
Yeah, that's not a hot take. We know that.
I don't want to see him anymore, man. I'm really tired of seeing him, actually. I feel like this kid's trying to kill himself every week he goes out there. Let's do a quick one. Quick hit that's not on our list or rundown for today. Who takes this belt off of him? Who do you want to see as your new TNT champion?
That's good. That's a good question.
Oh, I heard the man with no face. I heard him say Hook.
That's yours, man in the mask.
Yep.
Oh, now he's getting a drink because that was a far away.
No, he's not even getting a drink. He's on the toilet.
It's a real Philly steamer over there.
Yeah. So that is a really good one.
That's a good one.
Let me think about it. And by the end of the show, I'll have an answer.
I want a worker. What I want, I want a worker. I want a worker. I feel like it's either been, we've had Sammy and Darby, right? Cody.
Actually, I got someone.
And then we've had Wardlow and Joe. So, and Sammy's
got
been
someone.
2 times, 3 times?
3 times.
Something like that.
Yes.
All right, dude, spit it out. If you're just going to keep interrupting me, go.
Whose house?
No.
You don't think Swerve?
No.
I think that'd be Darby versus Swerve. I think Swerve would be really good with that belt.
Dude, here's my and I'm going to catch major heat for this, which isn't going to be bigger than the heat I caught last week, and I'll tell you guys about that if we do final thoughts tonight.
Oh yeah, we will.
I'm going to catch major heat. I'm going to catch major heat for this, but here's my problem with Swerve. Number one, you're a hip hop mogul. That's what your whole hook is you're a hip hop guy. And you have 2 of the whitest tattooed Aryan looking guys ever coming to the ring with you.
I'll agree with you there. I do not.
I don't get that. I don't get that. I feel like the best Swerve I've seen to this point was NXT Swerve when he was with Hit Row. I feel like everything he was doing there was. I don't know. He's still looking for it, in my opinion. I don't think he knows. I think he had a better idea who he was when he was on the Indies.
Mm-hmm.
Because, a lot. Think about these Indies guys, man. When they're on the Indies and they come up big, usually they're the top guy in wherever Indies they're working. Like Riddle was a top guy in the Indies. Swerve was a top guy in the area that he was wrestling in as far as the Indies go. And I know he worked all over the country, but
Washington, I believe, I think he's from the same area or started in the same areas like Darby did.
Okay. So in the Seattle, Washington area, everybody loved him. So, he was a hometown boy. They knew, he had an idea who he was. I don't know that he has an idea. I think he thinks he knows, but he don't.
And the whole thing started, not to cut on you because
go ahead.
But it all started when he left the Indies because Swerve's whole persona that he built in the Indies, coming out to freaking ain't nobody, he fucking got into it.
Yeah,
they just
dude.
fucking got there, and everybody
Change.
got into it. And now you come out and you can't use your music. You're not having a good transition.
Yeah.
WWE when he had his solo thing, didn't really feel it.
Yeah.
Hit Row, all the entrance of all the guys of Hit Row, that made it because he felt it. He felt like he belonged there.
Worked.
That's what's missing. He needs it.
Well, I say
this a lot, but I feel like he's playing wrestler. Like he's just not found it yet.
Yeah.
Let me just
I have a problem with you putting a belt on a guy who doesn't know who he is.
He knew himself more as Deadshot than he does as Swerve.
Kill shot.
Yeah.
Than he does as Swerve.
Okay. So the reason why I thought of Swerve was because I think, obviously if Darby's going to drop the championship, he's going to drop it to, a heel. Like to me, it would make the most sense, to drop it to a heel. And I'm just thinking of decent mid-card heels. And like I said, that's why I went with Swerve. I mean, again, it's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You don't have to agree with it, and that's fine. But that's what I'm sticking with.
Well, you don't got to die by that, buddy. It's okay.
No, I'm cool, man.
Dude, I get what you're saying, and I understand why you're saying it. I'm just saying, me personally, I just don't like. For me, I would almost. Here's the thing: you could take that right now, that TNT Championship. It's the person that's wearing it that's kind of making the title, not the other way around. And to me, if you're going to have a TNT Championship like that, then it needs to be treated like the Intercontinental Champion used to be treated years ago in the WWF, early WWE. The best worker on the card should carry that belt. And in my opinion, you take that TNT Championship, you put it on Daniel Bryanson, and you have him, or
Bryan Danielson,
and you have him wrestle every fucking Wednesday night. You have him wrestle every Wednesday night.
Okay, so
no, hold on.
I like your
that
take.
Was my first thought. Yeah, that was my first thought. Was having Bryan Danielson like just have his last full year run.
Are you hearing voices? I'm just hearing voices.
I hear voices in my head.
Well, you should probably get checked out for that, DJ. Anyhow, yeah. So that was my first thought. I do like the idea of Swerve. I think Swerve's in the right spot to do it, but I do kind of agree with Sean too, where it's just like he hasn't found it yet. I have a great pick, which I know isn't realistic, but and this is actually two takes. My pick would be, especially because the title's on Darby Allin right now, is just have an all-out one big final match against Brody King, and have Brody King as champion. However, I don't think that's going to happen because I think when the eventual Elite win next week and win the Trios titles back, their first big challenge is the House of Black.
All right.
Okay. I like that.
Of course, too, and that makes going off ways. If they put that belt on Malachi Black, I wouldn't be mad about it either.
Yeah, agreed.
I'd love to see him get a chance to carry a strap, and with this dude Malachi, House of Black that's a pretty kick-ass faction. Yep. And the fact that they're still not using that up to the level that they could be.
Mr. Wolf.
Those guys could stand up. They should be competing for the Trios Championship. Yes, sir.
Who was your pick for the workhorse other than Brian? Because I think you said you had two. Or was it just Brian?
No, it was just Brian.
It was just Brian.
I think Joey K said he had two different ones.
He'd said Hook and he said Brody King.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tell you guys this one. And it's gonna be a bit of a shocker because up till now he's been criminally misused. And I think the TNT title, honestly, and the only way I see this working is some type of tournament for the belt, right? You need to have a clear-cut challenger. There's no clear-cut challenger. They do a tournament style. But I think somebody that brings legitimacy to it, somebody that's kind of heelish right now, but they're not doing anything with them. I want to see Josh the Goods Woods, man, hold that TNT title. That's a worker.
Yeah.
If they gave him a little bit more time on AEW, some AEW programming like Rampage or Dynamite and stuff, I just think I see it like the Josh Woods fan in me would agree with you there, but I just feel like right now, yeah, man, maybe that's why you mentioned the tournament thing, but I personally don't see that. But I mean, the tournament thing, maybe that gets into a position where, hey,
it's a free for all. Then
I'm kind of I'm Josh the Goods Woods. I'm not. I don't think he's bad. But he's just not somebody that I get up for. Like, I don't get excited about it. There's not been anything.
Do you know who you get excited for though?
What does he get excited for?
You know who you get excited for? She's back, Charlotte Flair.
Woo!
Wow.
Doing it with Flair's, gentlemen. She is back in the WWE and already collecting titles on her first night back because why not, right?
Okay. So
is she going to be 16-time Raw champ and 16-time SmackDown champ?
I think she was. This was 14. So
are they just counting all them together and counting that as that many reigns as women's champion?
She's 28-time women's champion. No,
so,
I don't know.
So people are already complaining about that and stuff. So this is kind of like my take on it. First off, Who else was on the SmackDown Women's roster that could have been considered a legitimate threat for Ronda Rousey?
Nobody, because Ronda legitimately doesn't work for nobody.
Well, yeah, and stuff, but also too, because there were people complaining, and this was something I don't know if Sean, because I know Sean listens to Busted Open, and somebody had recently called in and brought up a really good point. Like, okay, why does Charlotte show up and get a title shot? Okay, so like, let's say when Shaquille O'Neal signed with the Los Angeles Lakers, they started him right away because he's a really good player and he's a star. You don't sit there and put Shaq on the bench to start out when you got him with the Lakers. And I think the same thing applies with Charlotte. I mean, she is a legitimate superstar and this is again my opinion. You don't agree with it? That's fine.
No. I completely agree with you in the sense of what you're talking about as she's a performer, who she is as a wrestler, who she is as a promo, her character, all that. Here's my thing. If she was on Raw, they wouldn't have brought her in and put a belt on her right away. The reason why they brought her in on SmackDown and put her belt on her right away is because, as we all know, Fox, the only reason they wanted her on SmackDown, Fox TV thinks that she's a ratings draw. So as soon as they came back, I'm sure they leaned in and said, okay, we just wrote you a big fat fucking check. We want the belt on Charlotte Flair. And if you think for one second that they're listening to Fox,
and to be honest, they needed to get that title off Ronda because to me,
she's killing the business.
She's just not cut. In my opinion, she's just not doing. She's not cutting it. I mean,
she's playing wrestler. She's playing wrestler, man.
She's not even playing. She's not even playing wrestler, dude.
No, she thinks she is.
But
like
she's not doing a very good job of playing wrestler either.
You would almost think she's like Nick and Matt's sister. It's Rhonda Jackson.
Jesus.
Rhonda Jackson.
Oh,
that's horrible.
Same hair.
The boys could actually go though. Come on. Yeah, no, dude. I saw something earlier from Teddy Long. Holla.
Be careful, or he's going to book you in a one-on-one match with the Undertaker.
Teddy Long said, and he was quoted, that Ronda Rousey doesn't like to do business. That Ronda Rousey, as a athlete, is good, but as a wrestler, she doesn't love the business, so she doesn't do business. He stated that she should not be wrestling because she does not love the business. She's one of the people that go in there and take what she can from it and leaves without doing jobs. All in all, it just sounds like Teddy Long is saying she's just there for the money.
You know what? He's 100% correct, and I'm gonna give you the exact opposite. I said it last week. Brock Lesnar is an attraction, just like Ronda Rousey is an attraction. Okay, yeah. But Brock he does business. His heart's in the right place. Mm-hmm. When he wants to work with you, he'll work with you and he'll make you look like $1 million.
Yeah.
He'll have a great match with you. He will make money, of course, because he is there. He's a businessman. He's there for the money too. But as much as he's there for the money, just like Ronda is, he knows it. He gets it. He gets the business, and he's one of the boys. She's not.
I agree with you. I think over the years he's kind of grown to respect the business so much more than when he first started out. I would.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't let the wife hear you talking good about Brock Lesnar too much over there, Silver Wolf.
No, yeah, and I said this a while back. Like this new iteration of him, like it's more. I don't know, man. He just seems more human, more, a lot of things came out over the last couple of years. I mean, the guy suffers from anxiety and stuff like that too, and he's not comfortable around people. And
if you believe Terry, he's also not very blessed below. So
I don't know about all that.
Oh wow, okay.
I don't care. I don't really care about that. But I just this
little baby
run that he's done. I think he's just more like he's more comfortable with who he is and what he's doing, and it's not just.
What was that? Premier Joey K?
Yeah, his little Bork. It's not even a Brock. It's a little Bork.
It's a Bork. It's baby Bork.
But
I wonder
I
if
mean-
they walk around the locker room and just call him Tuna Can.
I don't. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if her coming back and then putting the belt on it is the right move or not. I mean, I don't think it was a bad move because I'm not a real big fan of what Ronda was doing.
Yeah, I'm fine with it just because I was so anti Ronda.
Yeah.
That
here's my
Flair was good.
one thing, and I brought this up a couple times, and I think I threw it in the chat that night. I don't get this fucking ring gear that they got Charlotte walking out in. And to me, this was kind of like when they cut Flair's hair and said, we're going to change her name to Spartacus. And you don't need to change her up, man. Her everything that she did has ever done in the business has worked. And she did it all without the fucking bondage gear. She didn't look comfortable. It did not look like her. That's just not who she is. They need to just let her be her. And, you know, she's a pro wrestler, man. She's as authentic and real as Ric Flair ever was. Rick never changed. You never seen Rick wearing long tights or any of that shit. I mean, Rick was Rick from the beginning till the end. And still, even now, the only thing he does different is he throws a t-shirt on because he don't want anybody seeing his saggy tits. But she just didn't look, when she come walking out in that, she just didn't. It didn't look like her. She didn't look comfortable to me. It just wasn't what I mean, bring back the robe, bring back your original gear. Just let Charlotte Flair be Charlotte Flair and quit trying to reinvent the fucking wheel every time somebody comes back to TV. That's the problem with WWE. Well, she's been gone for a while. Let's change it up. Why?
There wasn't anything wrong with.
There's nothing wrong with what she's Charlotte Flair. She don't need a gimmick. That she has been Charlotte Flair from the first match in NXT until now. You don't need to change that up. And she doesn't need flashy new ring gear. Just let her wear what she wants to wear, man. I don't get that. To me, it's just one of those things. Like you don't take the S off Superman's chest. You don't cut Ric Flair's hair, and you don't change Charlotte Flair's gear. You just don't do that. I don't get that.
You know what else you don't do? You don't hold Money in the Bank outside of the U.S.
Oh, what a segue.
Gentlemen, they are moving
learn a thing
money.
or two there, DDJ.
What was that?
You can learn a thing or two about segues there, bud. Make it real fucking awkward.
You know, I like this version of Jerry K better where we don't see his face.
Yeah, well, wish I could say the same there, Chief.
Money in the Bank this year will be in the O2 Arena in London, England, guys. They are going across the pond for one of their marquee shows this year. What are we thinking about the decision to move Money in the Bank to London this year?
I don't
fucking what
I
get a Saturday event at 11 a.m. Big fucking deal.
Yeah, pretty much something like that. I think they just wanted to be able to say they made this many pounds of money. I don't know, dude. I don't get it. I mean, this isn't NFL Sunday Night Football in London or Monday night. I don't. They've had how many overseas big pay-per-views? Like when was the last WrestleMania was over there the year that
SummerSlam.
The Road Legion.
SummerSlam.
Yeah. Or was it SummerSlam? That was the last time that they were there, right?
Well, they just had Clash at the Castle.
They just had
Clash
but
that's not
in Cardiff, but that's not London.
Clash at the Castle is like a new PLE. It's not SummerSlam, Royal Rumble.
But it was still a PLE, which technically SummerSlam was. I mean,
they had another event.
It's a PLE in the sense that people have to pay for it
as well too. Like in the late 90s, early 2000s, Insurrection or
that's
you get what I'm trying to say, right?
Why are they putting one of the big shows?
It's not a big paper. It's not one of the bigger. Why are they taking a big show? Is what I'm trying to say.
So
that's my point.
Other people over somewhere else in the world can experience it. I mean, I don't honestly see what
fuck them.
The issue.
DDJ broke there because he wanted to say it, but he didn't want to say it.
I'm just saying what you're thinking.
as far as the PLEs go, I mean, I guess if I'm going to lose one to overseas, Money in the Bank's probably the one to lose. I mean,
yeah, I mean, what would you would you rather them have Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble or?
You guys know how I
no,
feel about
I would rather
gimmick
them
events
not
anyway,
have
so
major
fuck it.
pay-per-views in London. I don't.
They could have the minors, the WrestleMania backlashes.
So are you also?
Ugh.
And again, this is just. I'm just curious. Do you feel the same way about having NFL games in London?
Yeah, I don't really understand that either. That just is just more fucking
It's called
time away
expanding
from
your
home.
market,
And
though.
lack of
Like
sleep.
it's trying to expand the
Yeah, but,
market.
dude, one game in London every year isn't expanding your market. Expanding your market means you're starting a franchise in that area where you have NFL teams over there. You don't.
You take the sorry ass Jags and you move them to fucking wherever, Fulham or
I
whatever.
mean, you have
Tony
NFL
Khan's
Europe, but
soccer
that's like
team is.
Canadian football. Yeah, I mean, I don't get, to me, most of those games when they do them overseas like that, they're basically just exhibition games anyway.
How long have they been trying to expand that fucking market? It's not working. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't.
Only football they care about is the one you actually kick with your foot.
Football is life.
Football.
And that's why the
Foosball.
soccer over there soccer over there is the number one sport, man. NFL.
It's going to be. There's nothing that'll ever on top of that.
I'd like to see
I
our
don't think so.
Raider
Yeah.
fans go against those football hooligans. Soccer hooligans against Raiders fans. That'd be a great
Dude,
fight.
those Raider fans would get their asses kicked against those.
I was just gonna say, yeah, them Raiders fans don't have a chance, man.
Wow.
You're talking about
Over there.
IRA. You're talking about IRA members, man. Those guys have been fighting wars over there for like the last 20 years.
Fair
There's
enough,
been a
fair
civil
enough.
war in Ireland for 20 years, bro. It'd be like going to fucking Iran and going, let's see if our guys are tougher than these guys. These guys sleep with MAs and shit. They don't fucking give a shit.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fucking Raider fans. They're in Vegas now, dude.
I meant like the real Raiders fans, dude. The real fucking Oakland fans. But no, that's okay. You're taking IRA against Compton every day. I hear you.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's time for final thoughts. We're an hour
Ron,
and
you
6
said-
minutes.
Let's let Sean
That
start.
was
He said he
quick.
had a big one, so
He's got
Well, I
a
mean,
bigger
it's
one
not
than
a-
Brock Lesnar.
It's not a bit. Well,
Dude,
I don't know if it's bigger.
Dude, from
It's
what I
probably
heard,
thicker. It's probably thicker. I will say that.
it's all about that girth. Go ahead.
Got that birth certificates filled out
So-
there over there.
This is
All three.
that was a good one.
Three.
oh
That
man.
was a good one. The man in the mask. He's on fire, baby. So this is kind of going back to my little rant last week on our New Year's Eve show. And I know that I got a little worked up about the NWA title and who it's on. And I got a message from a friend of mine down south. I got a message from a friend of mine down south, and I'm not going to say who it is, and don't ask because I'm not going to tell you. That's not the issue, and it's not important. But what I did not like and what I didn't appreciate was, him and a couple people basically telling me that for whatever reason I got political. Newsflash, bitch! I didn't get political. I am not the one that put a wrestling belt on a performer so he could go on Fox News. That was political. The decision to put the belt on that guy who can't perform, isn't a wrestler, and I think we can all agree is pretty much a joke as far as an in-ring performer goes. I might have got carried away by calling him a fat ass, but am I wrong? I didn't think so. Okay.
The guys that dribbling shits in the ring. Whoever he votes for, whatever show he's on, I could give two fucks. Other than you made a power move to put a title on somebody that you know is going to get national exposure and try to bring more eyes in. So I understand that point, but take the politics out and take everything away from it. The guy's still the drizzling shits and shouldn't be the fucking NWA champion.
Thank you.
So,
and that was my point. And I think somewhere in the translation, apparently there was a few people who thought that I was trying to politicize my personal political beliefs. First off, you don't know my personal political fucking beliefs because I've never once said them.
Nope.
I have never once said how I feel about anything. If you want to know, find us on Facebook. We got a group. You can message me anytime you want. I'll be more than happy to go one-on-one with you and tell you my personal political beliefs. But this is a wrestling podcast, which is why I was talking about a wrestling company putting a nationally known historical wrestling title on a performer because that performer was on Fox News. I didn't make it political. Billy Corgan made it political by putting the belt on that person. Now, if you can't deal with me calling a spade, that's your problem. But let's not get caught up in and get it twisted up. I didn't do anything or bring anything up about Fox News or any of that stuff until Billy Corgan put the belt on them. I have said numerous times, and DDJ can verify, this is a wrestling podcast. There is no place for our personal politics on this. And I would never, ever in a million years shove my shit down somebody else's throat because you're not going to do it to me and I'm not going to do it to you.
Well, I have to take all.
I'm not going to apologize for what I said because I didn't say anything that wasn't accurate or true.
No,
I will apologize for getting beat up and personally attacking the guy because, yeah, he's a big dude and I shouldn't call him fat. That's not correct, and I shouldn't do that. But
can I get an apology for you shitting on me and the Cowboys while you're handing them out?
No, you cannot. And that wasn't political either. That was just, you deserve it because you're a Cowboys fan, and I like you. Other than that,
Sean,
so
Sean,
I mean,
you definitely weren't getting political talking about you. Were just speaking the truth.
Well, dude, I mean, this isn't going to be something that I'm going to deal with every week. This is fun. And I love being on here and talking about professional wrestling and talking about the sport.
We love having you here, man.
And I love talking to you guys and it being a part of it. But if anybody's going to start trying to change this shit and attack me because they feel like I'm being political, you don't know my political affiliations. You have no idea who I am, what I've been, what I've done, where I've been. You have no idea. None of you do. For anybody to just assume that I have a problem with somebody, one of my best friends is ex-military, God-fearing, Indiana, red state loving. We don't agree on a lot when it comes to our.
I know who exactly you're talking about there.
Affiliations. But I could call that guy right now and he would be here if I needed him.
Yep,
I don't care. I don't have friends based on who they voted for in the last election. That does not matter to me. I am talking about wrestling, professional wrestling performers, and the companies that employ them. If you have a problem with professional wrestling being politicized, my suggestion would be to, send an email to Billy Corgan. NWA.com and tag him on Twitter and let him know how you feel because he's the one who did it, not me. I could care less what you think about what I think because what I think has nothing the political stuff. I've never even commented on it and I won't, not on this. This is not the place. We talk about wrestling here and wrestling companies and performers, and we've talked about it every week that I've been on, and we've all said things that maybe we shouldn't say at times, but it's usually in jest and fun. And if you guys can't laugh about it, then that's kind of your problem.
So I
want you to be a part of the show. I don't want to lose you as viewers, but if you have a problem with what I'm saying, you have our Facebook group. Please feel free. It's all at the end of this episode. You'll be able to get the information. Please feel free to message me one-on-one. I'll be more than happy to talk to you one-on-one. Okay?
Well, okay. So
right.
I would like to, before I give my final thought, I would like to, and I'm sure that Jovan and Joey K will back me up on this, man. No matter what you say and no matter, who gets offended by it, Sean, we got your back in this, so.
I mean, you haven't been censored like the masked man up there, so I guess you're doing okay.
He's come close, but no. But no, for me, I'm just saying, you know, again, we're in a new year.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. For a little, I actually went back and watched the segment over to make sure, like a couple of times, to make sure that I didn't say anything because I know I got pretty heated, and I think I was drinking that night too. So not that I'm using that as an excuse. I'm a grown man. I can handle my alcohol. If I say something and somebody deserves an apology, I'll give it. I just don't feel like I said anything that deserves.
Once again, I would like to interject my apology for the Cowboys, but we'll let it go.
Yeah, that's
Giovanni,
that'll
just give
never
it up. You ain't getting it. You're not getting it.
Yeah.
Hey,
that dog don't hunt, brother. That dog don't hunt. No. Sorry.
But so for me, you know, as of this recording, you know, we're 5 days into the new year, and again, you know, I'm glad everyone out there, you know, hopefully had a great, you know, holiday, great new year, you know, did what they wanted to do. They listened to our public service announcement and didn't do anything stupid and that. So, but I mean, it's just, it's if WrestleKingdom gave us any kind of indication, I think 2023 is going to be a really damn good year for pro wrestling. I mean, 4 days in and we've already got one match of the year. And that, so, and it's just, it's always fun. It's always a great time to be a wrestling fan. Like I said, this could be a really good year. And I mean, I'm glad that, like Sean said, because I know Sean's very passionate about this show. You know, he's extremely passionate. He's been kicking all forms of ass since he's come on, you know, and become one of us. I think we're all passionate about this show. We all love doing this show. And it's, you know, it's just something that it gives us an outlet to talk about our takes and our views on what's going on and everything. And you know what, as evidenced by this show, we're not always going to agree with each other. Like, I think this has probably been one of the shows where we really haven't agreed a lot. Like, I think, I don't want to say divisive, but it's just that a lot of us really, most of the time, you know, we're all pretty much like, oh yeah, that makes sense, or that's a good call and stuff. But we didn't have a lot of that this year. But the sheer fact that we have this show and we can discuss, have differentiating opinions and that kind of stuff, and yet remain civil and, you know, respectful of each other's opinions. To me, that's one of the things that I love about not only the show and like you guys, but most wrestling fans in general, because the good wrestling fans out there, you can have these types of discussions. And again, you may not always agree. I mean, in that, but that's okay. I wish that we would see more of those types of wrestling fans than the types that we see where, you know, if you don't agree with someone, then you're wrong or whatever, and stuff like that. And it's just to kind of, you know, go off what Sean said, you know, about the show. We don't try not to get political on here because we all know what happens when things go political. It, you know, it's never usually ends well and stuff. And that's why I don't discuss politics with anyone. I mean, Sean mentioned about, you know, not knowing his politics. Sean and I have been friends now for about 7-8 years, and I don't think we've had one political discussion, but we don't need to do that.
No, we don't.
We don't and stuff. But I mean, it's just what makes this, and I know I know this has been all over the place, and I apologize for that. But I'm going to end it like this. Not one of us here is the same. We're all different, but that's what makes this show great, is because we all come from different backgrounds, different ways of life and stuff. But this one thing called professional wrestling has brought us here. And I think that professional wrestling thing is going to why this show keeps on going, because there's going to be so many things that happen. We're all going to have different takes. We're all going to share them with you and stuff. And we're going to have fun doing it. So just bottom line, here's to a great 2023, guys.
Good take, that DJ. Good take.
I know it was all over the place, though. And
dude, that was good.
It was purdy. Mm-hmm. The premier mask.
Yeah, so I'm going to get real political here. The powers that be, the censorship that is ruining the Shootin Shit universe right now is an absolute fucking disgrace. I just want that. It was me, Austin. Also,
it was me.
Also, fuck them Cowboys, and fuck Jeff Jarrett.
He looks a lot better in that picture than I've seen him before.
That was beautifully said. Thank you.
That's very heartfelt.
That was so eloquent.
Very
Joey
heartfelt.
King.
He
I
can.
I
spit
can't
his
see
words.
out of my fucking right eye anymore. It hurts. It's burning. It's fucking burning.
Oh my god!
I gotta get a new mask next week.
Shit. He's gonna rip the fucking eye open.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Why don't you just turn your camera off and take the mask off?
Yeah, just take it off,
I hate it.
Take it off.
He's gonna look like Ace Ventura coming out of the damn rhino or the elephant. All right.
I usually look like that, but it's usually going into things, not out of it.
Oh,
Jesus. All right, my final thoughts. We're a train wreck. I love this train wreck.
YouTube.
Well, guys, the best thing I could say is 2023 has given me hope in my favorite wrestler again. Because like all of you guys, there are times where I do get on my pedestal and scream from the high mountains that I am a big fan of Kenny Omega. And yes, people might be like, oh, hey. Hey. I get it. I get it, right? And that's because they don't know the Kenny Omega that I know. And to see that Kenny Omega come out in WrestleKingdom and just put on the performance of the year right now, candidate for performance of the year, reaffirmed my love in pro wrestling, it reaffirmed my love in the strong style, it reaffirmed my love in Kenny Omega, because what we got is the cleaner, the actual cleaner, the real deal Holyfield, not the cheap knockoff version we get every Wednesday night on Dynamite. So my thing is, either you go all in or you leave it all alone. You're either going to be the Kenny Omega that's here on the Wednesdays, or you're going back to being the best bout machine. I can't do this back and forth, because the marks who don't watch New Japan are not getting the real Kenny Omega. And the people who watch AEW are not getting the real Kenny Omega. And they deserve it. So either you say to yourself, hey, I can't be Kenny Omega every week in and week out anymore. And you save that Kenny Omega for pay-per-views, which I get. Or you stop playing around in AEW. When that contract expires, you go back to New Japan and you ride out however many years you have left as the cleaner. Because God knows you're doing yourself and the wrestling world in its soul a disservice by being this joke of a cleaner on Wednesday nights. So my final thoughts, Kenny Omega, decide what you want to be and be it. And also to the pro wrestling fans out there, stop gatekeeping. It's 2023. Nobody cares that you could name every entrant into the Royal Rumble from 1992. Nobody cares that you can remember how many hoes the Godfather had at X nights.
Hold on a second.
Here we
Are you
fucking
taking a
go.
shot at me here?
No, but that was a good one. Nobody, see, you got me off track. That was just a good example. Nobody cares that you knew that. Oh, see, I had two more, motherfucker. Thanks,
spit
Dennis.
it out, dude. Spit it out.
You know what? I'm over
Nobody
here
cares.
fucking dying. Dying.
Run the music. Damn
Spit
it.
it
Have
out.
a good night.
Hold on,
To the ladies in catering. To the ladies in
Whoa,
fucking
stop,
payroll.
stop.
To the guys in catering. To everybody
Hold on,
staying this long.
Hold on.
What do you got?
Thoughts and prayers to Dustin Reynolds. He lost his mom the last couple days. Give a little love to the natural.
Yeah, T's and P's there. That's
T's and P's there. Run the music.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the show on YouTube. And find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/groups/SHOOTINSHT. And thank you so much for watching.